talk a little bit about taking care of your dog's nails. Manicuring your dog's nails is actually a very important part of your dog's health. We'll go through each of these dogs today. I'll show you how to Dremel, the importance of that, so you can make sure that your floors are protected, the dog's feet are protected. The health of the dog is very important. If those nails are too long, then the dog is going to be imbalanced. It's going to be compensating for that and the pressure that's put on his tendons and so forth. And it's just not a healthy thing for the dog. So, the obvious benefits to us humans, whether it's making sure that our wooden floors aren't scratched so much, the clicking sound when they go through the house, we don't like hearing or seeing that. All that is great benefits for us, but make a habit of it. Once a week, maybe once every other week. It's something that becomes just the norm. Very quick thing. Couple of options. Today we're going to be talking about how to Dremel your dog's nails, and there's an advantage to Dremeling. Simple electrical tool that I'll set one of my dogs down first. Wait. Dremel, they come in two forms. There's a electrical cord or electrical version, and there's also a battery powered version. I prefer the electrical version because I think you get more consistency, a little bit better power with it. And it just simply works better, I think, overall. So if you have an electrical tool, it has a little sanding piece on the end of it. This sander is actually what's used to actually sand off the dog's nail. And we'll go through some of the techniques and the proper way to Dremel and keeping everybody safe, including you and your dog, and how to do that and how to introduce that. You can pick it up at any hardware store, or most hardware stores anyway, Home Depot, Lowe's, any of your local neighborhood stores. First thing we need to talk about is when to introduce and how to introduce this to your dog. So the best advice is start young. Start when you're a puppy. Treats are a great way of educating the puppy to the sound of the Dremel, the smell of the Dremel, and the concept that this is something that's a good thing for them. So you can just simply introduce the Dremel, some sounds of the Dremel, feed them a treat, and get the dog comfortable with the sound of the Dremel. So if you hear the sound, just like a sander, as an electric thing is moving this sanding or buffing tool over the dog's nail. I'm going to be using today, I got 4 dogs here that I'm going to be doing, various shapes and sizes, and I'm going to be standing. I've trained mine to actually stand on a table, stand on a short stool that's clearly balanced and so forth that can hold the dogs. Some people like to sit on the floor. I can show you how to do that as well. So we obviously have 4 legs, 4 paws, and at least I'm hoping 4 nails on each of those toes. These nails actually are in too bad a shape. They could use a little bit of trimming down, but they're obviously already square. You want to get the nail square off and no curvature down to the floor. So when the dog's foot is down, nail comes out, everything's trimmed off straight, and the dog therefore doesn't have any pressure on those toes when he's walking or running and so forth. So it's basically 1 foot, 1 toe at a time. There's 3 positions on this Dremel, or the 3 positions as you're Dremeling. So when it's running, it's 1 from the side up from the nail and up at an angle, 1 from the inside up at an angle. So if you notice, I've got this dog's toes separated from the others to make sure I got plenty of clearance between the Dremel and not letting it hit the skin. You actually separate the toe from the other toes. You don't want the Dremel as it's sanding to touch that dog's skin at any time. That actually can create an injury to the dog or to yourself for that matter, but it's 1 up from in, and then 1 straight on. Those 3 movements, and repeating those 3 movements, will be able to get the nail to the proper length without hurting the dog or yourself. You can never leave that Dremel, the Dremel touching that nail more than 2 to 3 seconds at a time. It creates heat, and the heat transfers through the nail and creates an uncomfortable situation for the dog, and the dog is going to start moving and it doesn't feel very good. So by keeping it 2 or 3 seconds on there at a time from each of those angles, then it's better for you, better for the dog, and you have a better result. So okay, let's do some actual dremeling. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of dremeling. So keep in mind, I'm going to take the dog's foot, I'm going to separate the toes, make sure that there's no danger of the Dremel actually touching the dog's skin. Do one toe at a time, move up and in from the left, up and in from the right, straight on, and do each nail at the same, on one foot before I go to the next foot. So I go up, I go up, I go up, I go up, up, in, up, and in. And then we move on to the next foot. Come around here, take the dog's foot, go up, 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 and go up. Now we have perfectly groomed nails. Move to the back. Okay, coming under, making sure that the Dremel does not touch the dog's skin. Same thing, separate the toes. Start on the outside in, up and in, outside in, outside in, outside in and up, outside in and up. That one needed a little bit more taken off. Outside in, and he kicks it up. So make sure you maintain control of that dog. Don't let him jerk around on that. That's when you can have an injury. Move to this foot. I separate, up and in, up and in. Notice I'm not keeping it on there very long. Dog tries to move it, make sure he doesn't do it. And then we have perfectly groomed nails. Turn it off, down, then the dog can actually be released. Make sure the Dremel is turned off and sitting before you actually release that dog. Free. So as you see right here, so obviously the aftermath of the nail, it will get on your hand. So make sure if you don't mind that. I'd also recommend not doing it in your living room. Do it in an area where you're fine with a little bit of the smell of the nail that's been sanded off or whatever. Just to make sure because it does create some dust. Just simply wash it off, and it's just simply from the grinder that creates that, and it flies up onto the hand. So there's a couple of things, or a couple of ways, techniques in terms of keeping your dog's nails at proper position. So now we have a much smaller dog here. Obviously she's had a great deal of training around the Dremel and everything as well, but a good example, we've let her nails grow here just a little bit so we can make sure that everybody gets a good example of a nail that is way too long for this dog. As a matter of fact, there's probably at least there's a 1/4 inch that could come off of this dog's nail for a small 19-pound dog. So you can see, and it's very easy to see on this dog. She has white nails and she has black nails. Much harder to see the quick in the dark nail, obviously, than in the lighter nail. But they usually run pretty true nail to nail. So this dog needs to have about a 1/4 inch taken off on each of those. So we'll go through that right now. Same thing right here. A little smaller dog needs a little bit tighter control. Make sure we don't get in there. Also, because of the smaller dog and a smaller nail, softer nail, the Dremel doesn't have to have as high a speed as you might need on a larger dog with a tougher nail. those nails are too long, then the dog is going to be imbalanced, it's going to be compensating for that and the pressure that's putting on his tendons and so forth. And it's just not a healthy thing for the dog. So let's make sure we understand how to do that and stay healthy with the dogs.